Well, the official opening of the Rio Olympics isn't till Friday, but the games are already off to a great start for Canada's women's soccer team. Their encounter against Australia started sensationally, with Canadian Janine Beckie scoring within the game's first 20 seconds. That's the earliest a goal has ever been made in women's Olympic history. The momentum paused, however, minutes later when Shelina Zadorsky was sent off, temporarily reducing Canada to 10 players. It didn't stop, though. Captain Christine Sinclair scored in the 78th minute to seal a 2-0 win. Well, as Team Canada prepares to go for gold in Rio, let's bring in someone who might know what's going on inside their heads and how our elite athletes stay focused when the world is watching. This is Brenley Shapiro, a cognitive behavioral psychotherapist specializing in work with athletes. Ms. Shapiro, so good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
One of the first things people want to know probably right now is, how do those athletes focus and stay calm?
So I think at this point, they really simply need to trust in being there. They need to let go of all that other stuff and just trust in their preparation, trust in the fact that they have waited and prepared their entire life for this moment, and that's what they need to focus on. What do they need to do right now to be successful, and just kind of clear their mind of everything else at this point.
So take us up to those steps, and this could probably apply to not just athletes, but people, all sorts of performance skills that are required in their jobs. Talk us through the stages of preparation that they would have in those perhaps months, maybe even years, in preparing to do their job. How do you get to that point where you are so finely attuned to what you're doing that you do it flawlessly no matter what the distractions are?
Yeah, I think you really need to prepare your mind and work on your thinking. So I always say your thoughts drive your emotion, and it results in behaviors, actions, and consequences. So you really need to have a strong mindset and be able to prepare your mind to be focused on the right type of thinking, thoughts that are going to be productive and empowering for you, and be able to learn how to disregard those other thoughts that might get in the way or impede your progress. So just to really kind of zone in on that powerful, productive thinking.
Is there a way of strengthening your mind? Is it like a muscle when it comes to this?
Absolutely, yeah. So the more, just the same way you train your body and your muscles, you need to train your mind to be able to block out that stuff. It takes practice, focus, effort. The more you do it, the better you get.
Well, back to the athletes in Rio. We're talking about athletes who have expressed some concern about the accommodations, for instance, and others who very real complaints about, say, for instance, the water quality that they're going to be competing in. Those seem like insurmountable, at least the water quality issues for the athletes who are going to be competing in sailing and swimming to overcome.
Yep.
How might they have to put that out of their minds?
So I'm going to say at this point, they have to take control of what they can, and they need to let go of what they can't control. So take the necessary precautions, whatever they can do, but they're there to do what they do best, and that's where their focus needs to be. So, you know, for them, although they're very serious issues, they need to somewhat become irrelevant right now to them. And they really need to zone that focus in on their purpose, why they're there, what they're there to do, what they're there to accomplish, and the rest becomes somewhat irrelevant.
Is there a time limit with that kind of mental focus? Is there an amount of time that you've been able to measure in your studies and research where athletes are able to maintain that kind of focus for only so long?
Well, I say if you prepare it, I think it's a mindset thing that you need to work on as well. So they need to learn how to prepare their mind the same way that they train their body. And the more you prepare that, the better off you're going to be when it comes time to be able to keep that focus for intense levels at longer periods of time.
And Brenley Shapiro, a cognitive behavioral psychotherapist specializing in work with athletes. It's good to speak with you.
Thanks so much. My pleasure.